Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Pisces March 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant. And I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings for Pisceans over the course of the last month, and if you might be interested in seeing what might be involved in having a one-on-one clairvoyant experience with me from anywhere in the world, just check out the information that's in the description box below. Now, I charge for clairvoyant readings. I have to. What I don't charge for is this. And I'm going to make this announcement now because there is a voice within me that is compelling me to do so, and it will make sense when I mention it now. This voice within me is saying, look, you know that when you came here, I granted you the spiritual gift of clairvoyance, or prophecy as it's called in a lot of the sacred scriptures. You also know that when you came here, I granted you the spiritual gift of healing, which is true. And for the last 35 years, I have quietly and without any fanfare just gone about healing people in my home country. Now, what is important is that I do it for free. The gift of healing has been provided on the basis that I receive no benefit from the process of the healing. Now, what I'm saying now is that I am offering to you, or to people that you might know, or to people now on this channel and out in the global environment, I'm being told to extend the reach of the application of the healing further than it has been done now. Now, there are countries in the world which say that you need to seek independent medical advice as well, and I agree, you should. And what is clear, though, is that this process takes 15 minutes or less. Contact me, or the process will be set out in the description. The healing takes 15 minutes or less. It's done by FaceTime or Skype. I need to see the person. So I just leave that out there for you if that's something which is of interest. Now, as the subscribers know, and great to see the subscribers, this reading that we do today won't have any video advertisements in it. So you get to enjoy the experience without interruption. By the way, I'm going out on a date tonight. Amazing, but true. Yes, with a beautiful woman who happens to be an accountant. The accountant and the clairvoyant. Well, I can quite proudly say I have never used a spreadsheet in my entire life. In fact, on my PC, which is all up-to-date office stuff, I wouldn't even know I don't even know what they call Excel, is that it? I've never used a spreadsheet. So I'll obviously find out all about ledgers and, I don't know, cost centers or whatever the accountants do. I do know a lot about finance, though. Now, what I'm going to do is take 5 cards. 5 cards is all we need, because they speak volumes to us. And you will see what is in store. There's the 2 of Pentacles. This is the 8 of Swords. This is what? Temperance. What is here? 10 of Pentacles. Damn, that's a good one to have, I think, with that Temperance card and the 2 of Pentacles underneath it. There is the Tower. Now, why don't you, as is our usual practice, come sit down here next to me. We'll have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Let's have a look at this central energy, shall we, which is that of Temperance. And what do we have here? This is interesting, is it not? Well, the image portrays the mysteries of temperance as the art of alchemy, though it bears the ordinary mysteries in it also, I think. But here is the art of blending different aspects of something to create something better, of manipulating the resources you have in a process of creation, of tempering your activities to ensure that, through moderation, you are productive. Now, I just don't think that the name of the card adequately conveys the depth of the mystery that it holds. Well, that's just me. Conjuring up images of quiet virtue and timidity. As it does, the title seems to ignore the mystical transformation of the soul that takes place here, the process by which the base matter of the self can be changed into spiritual gold. However, temperance is the virtue most apt for the art form of the alchemical process. This is a gentle art, performed with prudence and temperance. Now you'll note that the number of the card here, of this major arcana, is 14. Well, 14 is the number of mental foundation, imagination, and will. It is the number of the awakened spiritual self integrated into the material world. The visionary, the alchemist who understands how the energies of nature, spirit, and humanity work together. Now, temperance is going to help to melt away conflict for you. Its magical elixir blends and balances energies, bringing rebirth of the self. Now, in this process, you begin to integrate the spiritual and the material worlds of the conscious and the subconscious self. Temperance combines and blends the mystical masculine and mystical feminine energies to bring healing and promise. Now, this process of creation moves stagnation away and ignites the life force and imagination. You begin to explore and expand your inherent individual talents in the world. Now, I noticed that it's touching on this card of the Eight of Swords here, where there is some indecision, and I'll get to that in just a second. But that indecision is going to be blown away by two things: by the planet of Jupiter and by the influence of this card here, which is Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. So anyway, I'll get to that in just a second here. Because in the meantime, I want to look at this other major arcana here, which is that of the Tower. Shall we have a look at this very interesting image? Look at this funeral pyre going on up here, burning corpses here. Do you know that many people experience the sudden devastation of the Tower without conscious decision when external events influence their internal processes? Now, you might ask yourself, who is this person? Is it from a sect? And the answer is yes. It is from the Aghori sect of India. And for the Aghoris, this Tower process is a process that is consciously sought so that they may be liberated from fear and the attachments that hold them in the wheel of suffering. Aghoris are ascetics devoted to the Lord Shiva, who usually perform their rites in cremation grounds, or they even live in the cremation grounds, and they paint their skin with the cremation ash, and are very often seen with matted hair or dreadlocks, wearing loincloths, sometimes made from the funerary shrouds, and necklaces of beads shaped like skulls. And when they make their way into towns and villages, they very gratefully accept marijuana to smoke. But looking at the astrology of this card, this is Mars, the warrior planet, here in full attack mode to bring down the tower of the ego. This is speaking of far-reaching inner transformation
and healing. And importantly, the old is being destroyed to make room for the new. There is a spiritual renewal for you at this time, and a self-knowledge, a release from past hurts. Maybe a revelation, something comes to you by way of inspiration. Certainly you'll be breaking down old forms or patterns, and this can seem like a period of calm after the storm. Do you know the power of the consuming, purifying fire destroys the old and sweeps it away? Nothing is spared. The tower of the ego will be shaken to its very foundations, and anything you attempt to cling to will be destroyed by this transforming power. The apparent securities of the past have begun to waver and topple, and all that remains is trust, the knowledge that all events in life arise from the endless love of the universe and its source, and brings you the possibility for learning and recognition. This understanding of the true nature of events transforms even apparent losses or painful disappointments into the valuable gifts that they really are. Times of desperation and inattention, when recognized, can become the most fruitful growing phases of your life. But I will also say this when I'm looking at this funeral pyre here. It may well be a time of some turmoil or destruction as you seek to understand how you could have been mistaken about a situation or a person which you now have to come to terms with. And emotions like anger, grief, depression may be around that affect you, or you might feel that your sense of security has been lost or shaken. Maybe it's because of a relationship breakup or the loss of a job. But an important message is this, that with the destruction of the old comes the new, and you will look at life in a much more meaningful way, and one that makes you wiser. Look, you're in the midst of, or about to enter into, an extremely intensive transformatory process. Now, whatever is destroyed or shaken within you serves to purify you and to make room for something new. So allow it. Are you ready to view yourself and life with new eyes? Observe yourself in daily life. Situations may seem to repeat themselves, but you will not continue to repeat old, limited, restrictive behavior patterns. Say this to yourself. Who I think I am is a belief to be undone. I have the ability to heal and restore myself at all times. I am not inside my body is inside me, and everything that happens in my life happens for the best. Well, shall we have a look at this Two of Pentacles that's here? Because I've got a feeling that Jupiter might also be here. You see, your planet is, this is a time of great good fortune for you. You might take you a while to sit back and just understand the good fortune that you are getting, but nevertheless, it is true. Now, this painting here shows a dancer performing what I take to be a classical Cambodian dance, I suppose. I'm just looking at this. She's got that Cambodian sort of dress because she wears the traditional headdress of Cambodian women wear. And she balances carefully on a carving. Now, the waters of one of the ancient man-made lakes that the Khmer Empire, that's the Khmer Cambodian Empire of old, made. Well, the water is rough and small boats are bobbing about in it, and around her flit silver dragonflies, which are emblems of change, but of harmonious change. Now, there are many aspects of this image, I think, that symbolize the interaction between polarities and the process of change that is created through this interaction. Now, the focus is definitely on the dancer, as this card's focus for me is on the human place within this continual fluctuation of landscape and change. And the golden pentacles that are balanced in the dancer's hands are facing point upwards in her right hand and point downwards in her left hand. And that indicates the exchange between the divine and the ordinary that takes place on a daily basis. And around these pentacles in white light, you can see the shape of a lemniscate, or the infinity symbol, or that number, the numeral 8 figure. Do you see that there? That white figure 8 that's formed? This is a symbol of infinite flux, infinite change, suggesting that the polarities of divine and ordinary, up and down, can be swapped. Indeed, the dancer's headdress indicates that she, a human, is standing in for a divine being. Now, the astrology of this card is also great for you because it is Jupiter, your ruling planet, in the first decan of Capricorn. You might think that's potentially inharmonious because Jupiter is all about expansion and Capricorn is all about conservatism and practicality, isn't it? But because we are, well, with the Two of Pentacles, in this suit, there's only the ace before it. I don't see that there's any problem going on here. The Two of Pentacles brings change and growth, creating an opportunity to bring a balance between your inner beliefs and your outer reality and bring it into harmony. It also represents handling 2 or more situations at one time successfully. Now, life can feel like a juggling act, can't it? With deadlines, demands, commitments, and distractions happening all at once. But when you work and play from a balanced and harmonic platform, even the most complex and conflicting situations can be handled successfully. The key, of course, is flexibility, balance, and having fun. Recreating energy. The gift of the Two of Pentacles is the talent for rebalancing and integrating your life challenges and opportunities with grace and ease. Now, when this Two of Pentacles arrives, it's time to open and be flexible. Change is coming, so don't fight it. Make it fun and creative. And this card symbolizes the creative problem solver. Change helps you grow and expand. New ideas or enterprise want to be birthed into form. And this energy brings a desire to be in control of your life and activities. It brings the gift of balancing and handling many situations at one time. This asks you, who and what do you align with, and what needs to be let go? It indicates a turn of events, not unlike this Tower card that's here, a transition and potential. It's bringing vitality to your body, shifting health issues to the positive. If you are experiencing trouble making decisions, I'm coming to this in a second, or if you have trouble finishing projects or giving an outer appearance that everything is great, but on the inside it is a mess, then take a long meditative look at this, and its lessons is that you can do it. So why don't we get to that card then that is being attacked by Jupiter from this side, by Jupiter from this side, which is about confidence, optimism. And here we have what? Well, that looks to me like this is a Viking sort of an image here, because here we see a man almost naked, bound to a thing called a knitting pole in the ancient Viking lore. Now, in Viking times, that pole was used to curse an enemy. And usually a horse's head was stuck on the top, and then it was pointed in the direction as to where the enemy or the enemies were. Now, in his case here, this guy, his hands and legs are tied with strong rope, which also gags him, so he is unable to speak. Although he's not blindfolded, his eyes are closed, and he strains with every muscle against his bindings, but to no avail. And around him, swords stab into the frozen ground. And atop this knitting pole is the clean skull of a horse. Now, Odin's ravens tug at the red strings that weave amongst the swords and create a web from which hang 3 runes. Isa, which means ice, Berthrol, which is secrets or the hidden, and Hagalas, which means, what does that mean again? That means a hailstorm, and also challenges. Now, the runes work their magic to keep the man frozen in place, beaten down, and his plight is hidden from others. Now, what is the astrology of this card? Well, sitting here, it is Jupiter ruling the first decan of Gemini. So we had Jupiter here, we have Jupiter here, and we have Jupiter here. And of course, this is your planet, Jupiter. So you're not going to be concerned overly by these comments that I'm going to make in relation to this card here and this energy. But Jupiter is your ruler. It's also the ruler of Sagittarius. Now, I noticed that I'm going to look at Sagittarius because Sagittarius is on this card and Jupiter is its ruler. Now, I'm going to take Jupiter as moving, therefore, from Sagittarius, and I've got the constellation of Gemini here, so it moves 180 degrees away from Sagittarius. So Jupiter is going to be in detriment there. And Jupiter is therefore weakened, and the inquisitive nature of Gemini further inhibits Jupiter. So a weakened Jupiter means that you maybe feel that you can't get what you want due to too many, that's the Gemini aspect of it, distractions, which may or may not be self-created. So for a moment here, you may be feeling as if you have some problems with your endurance or worry about thinking too much. Perhaps there's a difficulty in making a choice about something really here. Or I'm getting this feeling of you for a sense, and I don't know why you of all people should be doing this, but having a sort of a self-sabotage mentality. That is a fear of failure where you hold yourself back and quit before you start because you think you are going to fail. Well, the thing to do is to let things rest and develop on their own for a while. As long as doubts concerning any of these decisions, I mean major decisions, remains, well, just don't go for anything new. But remember, your planet Jupiter, which is everywhere around here, is the harbinger of unforeseen and unexpected change for the better. And the problem which seems unsolvable now is going to find its own solution in its own way. Yeah, it just may be that in an overall situation you're having a hard time about which is the best option for you to take. I think as you think about things so much that you could be having analysis paralysis with your energy scattered by Gemini on endless unproductive thoughts, your thoughts running down various foxholes. Well, the solution, of course, is to take time out and do something different and let Jupiter come in and do its work and settle things down. And then you can come back and look at the situation with new eyes. Now really, what alternatives are you torn between now? Just relax and let things develop. And say this to yourself: I am relaxed and I trust life. That takes us finally, I think, to, let's have a look. This 10 of Pentacles, underneath the 2 of Pentacles, and abutting that, and opposite the Tower. Okay, what you mean then is this for my friend here. Let's look at the image first, shall we, and have a look. Do you know in this image here, and again I'm getting that Cambodian feel to this here, there's a multi-generational family, isn't there, spending time in one of the many waterways that are around in ancient Cambodia. and probably today, I suppose. That would have been the old city of Angkor, I guess. And look, if you've ever been to Cambodia, it's a really hot country, requiring bathing several times a day. And this was often a communal activity, with families having access to a pond or sharing access with nearby families. Now, it's also obvious that waterways are important for the everyday lives of Cambodian people, presenting them as inseparable from the Khmer or Cambodian religion as a center of daily and family life. Now, a number of important skills that contributed to daily life focused on the waterways, such as fishing, irrigation, and rice farming. And the card shows some of these skills being used by members of the family. 2 young men use spears to catch fish, a skill they have no doubt been taught by their father, who stands nearby petting a docile elephant. Interesting. Well, the elephant, of course, symbolizes long life and memory, as it lives for many decades. And in the midground, a younger woman bathes while another washes the hair of a small boy, reminding us of the focus of the Ten of Pentacles on caring for our family and our health. And in the foreground, a grandmother teaches her young grandson how to catch fish by hand, though instead of fish in their baskets, it is golden pentacles, representing the overflowing abundance of resources that they enjoy. Now, the astrology of this card is Mercury in the last decan of Virgo, which is really good astrologically because Mercury is also exalted in Virgo. Now, Mercury brings you great communication skills, and Virgo brings you organizational ability. So put them together and you have success and abundance, because this brings success, abundance, and wealth. You're experiencing the riches of life. This blesses you with spiritual wisdom being channeled and expressed into the material. Life feels golden. It's almost as if you have found the key to living your earthly desires in balance with divine thought, and the rewards are magical. And this beautiful balance gives you a deep appreciation not only for what you have achieved on the earthly plane, but what you have achieved in your spiritual evolution. The two go hand in hand, you know, and when imbalanced, the experience is a truly magical one. Now, the key to this 10 is recognizing how life's treasures magically come to you through the cyclic process of giving and receiving. This 10 speaks of the miracles that happen in everyday life. You just have to recognize them. The gift of this 10 is the ability to alchemically, I will say, blend the energies of spirit and matter into a wondrous life now. This launches you onto a new stage of awareness and acceptance of responsibilities, stretching you to think and see life with a more expansive perspective. The 10 awakens your soul. You are in harmony and peace with your surroundings, bringing you security in your work, community, and home. Relationships are stable and deepening. The 10 has brought you well-being, prestige, success, and maybe some degree of riches. But it also signals a time to prepare yourself to cross the portal of the next cycle of discovery. Your life is in transformation at the moment, remember? What a fascinating spread of cards for you. Well done, you.
Well, I think, I really enjoyed doing that reading for you. Honestly, I did. I thought the artwork was pretty interesting, didn't you? I thought so. This deck, for some reason, really seems to speak to me. I hope that you enjoyed the reading as much as I enjoyed providing it to you. You're a very special person and I love doing readings for you. Now, there's one thing I want you to remember until I see you next time, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. So until then, it's bye for now.